If you've spent any time on YouTube searching for dividend investing strategies, you've seen the videos. How to live off dividends with just $100,000. This one ETF pays $5,000 per month. Retire in 10 years with dividend income. The thumbnails are confident. The numbers are huge. The promise is simple. Start with a modest amount, follow a few specific fund picks, and in 20 to 30 years, you'll have replaced your salary with passive dividend income. I bought into this for a long time. I ran the math on portfolio after portfolio. I watched dozens of these videos and built spreadsheets following their exact strategies. And here's what I learned the hard way. The numbers most of these videos use don't survive a calculator. They quote dividend growth rates that don't exist. They project portfolio yields that no diversified fund actually produces. They show you Rachel, the 32-year-old who invests $30 a month and ends up with $80,000 a year in dividends. And they never explain that the math behind Rachel's story requires an 18% portfolio yield that has never existed in any index fund ever. This isn't a hit piece on dividend investing. I genuinely believe in dividend growth investing as a wealth-building strategy. What this video is about is the honest math. What dividend income from Fidelity index funds actually looks like, what's realistic, and what it takes to actually reach meaningful income. I'm going to walk you through the 5 specific Fidelity funds people recommend for this strategy, show you their real yields and real growth rates as of May 2026. Do the honest math on what someone investing $1,000 plus $30 a month actually ends up with after 30 years, and then show you what it actually takes to reach $5,000 a month in dividend income. You might not like all the numbers, but you'll know exactly where you stand, and that's worth more than any optimistic projection that breaks the moment you check it. Let's get into it. The promise versus the math. Let me start with the math that nobody on YouTube wants to show you. VOO, Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF, one of the most popular index funds in the world, currently has a dividend yield of approximately 1.1% as of May 2026. If your goal is to generate $5,000 a month in dividend income, that's $60,000 a year from VOO at today's yield, here's the math. $60,000 divided by 1.1%. The answer is approximately $5.45 million. Not $300,000, not $500,000. $5.45 million in invested capital. That's the real number. And before you start thinking, well, dividend funds have higher yields than VOO. Yes, they do. SCHD yields 3.33%. JEPI yields 9.03%. But the moment you increase yield, you almost always sacrifice something else, usually long-term price appreciation or dividend sustainability. The popular dividend YouTube playbook goes something like this. Take a fund yielding 1.2%, claim it has a 20% dividend growth rate, project that growth rate out 30 years, and arrive at portfolio income numbers that look life-changing. The problem is the 20% dividend growth rate. That number doesn't exist in any diversified equity index fund, not historically, not currently, not sustainably. Real U.S. equity dividend growth over the long term averages 6 to 8% per year, in line with corporate earnings growth. Some individual funds may show 1-year or 3-year spikes well above that, but those aren't sustainable rates. They're noise around a much more modest trend. When YouTube videos use 20% as a 10-year dividend growth rate, one of two things is happening. Either they're cherry-picking a short, unusual period and extrapolating it forward, which mathematics doesn't allow you to do honestly, or they're using a number for a fund that didn't even exist 10 years ago, which means there is no 10-year history. Both of these errors compound dramatically when projected over 20 or 30 years. A 6% growth rate over 30 years roughly multiplies your dividend by 5.7x. A 20% growth rate over 30 years multiplies it by 237x. That's the difference between realistic and fantasy. Now, let me show you what the realistic version actually looks like with the 5 specific Fidelity funds people often recommend for this strategy. The 5 Fidelity funds. Honestly, these are 5 Fidelity index funds frequently mentioned in dividend growth portfolios. I'm going to show you what they actually are, not the marketing version, the data version. Fund 1, FSMDX. Fidelity Mid-Cap Index Fund. What it tracks. The Russell Mid-Cap Index, roughly the 800 mid-sized U.S. companies just below the largest names. Real numbers. Current dividend yield, 1.05%. Expense ratio, 0.03%. Long-term price appreciation, 10 to 11% annually. Realistic dividend growth, 6 to 8% per year long-term. What it's good for. Mid-caps have historically been a sweet spot for long-term total returns. They're more established than small caps, more dynamic than mega caps. The 0.03% expense ratio is genuinely tiny. What it's not a high-yield income fund. Anyone telling you mid-cap index funds yield over 2% is looking at a different fund or using stale data. Fund 2, FZIPX, Fidelity Zero Extended Market Index Fund. What it tracks. U.S. stocks outside the S&P 500, small and mid-caps combined. Real numbers. Current dividend yield, 1.11 to 1.15%. Expense ratio, 0.00%. Genuinely zero. This is real. Fund inception, September 2018, so total history is roughly 7 years. Long-term dividend growth, not meaningful to quote. There's no 10-year history because the fund didn't exist 10 years ago. What it's good for. Zero expense ratio for life. That's not a small thing. Over 30 years, the difference between a 0.00% and 0.05% expense ratio compounds into thousands of dollars saved. FZIPX gives you broad exposure to companies outside the S&P 500, the ones with more growth runway. What it's not. It doesn't have a verifiable long-term dividend growth track record. Anyone claiming a 19% 10-year dividend growth rate for FZIPX is fabricating data. The fund only launched in 2018. Fund 3, FNILX, Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index Fund. What it tracks. Large U.S. companies, similar exposure to the S&P 500 but using Fidelity's proprietary index to avoid licensing fees. Real numbers. Current dividend yield, 0.95%. Expense ratio, 0.00%. Confirmed zero. Fund inception, September 2018. Long-term price appreciation, similar to S&P 500, roughly 10% historically. What it's good for. Essentially a zero-cost S&P 500 alternative. If someone forced me to pick a single fund for a brokerage account, this would be a strong candidate. What it's not. It's not a dividend growth fund in any meaningful sense. The yield is below 1%. The dividend growth follows large-cap corporate earnings, historically 5 to 7% annually. Fund 4, FZROX, Fidelity Zero Total Market Index Fund. What it tracks? The entire U.S. stock market. Small, mid, and large cap combined. Real numbers. Current dividend yield, 0.95%. Expense ratio, 0.00%. Fund inception, August 2018. 3-year dividend growth, 5%. Long-term price appreciation, about 10%. What it's good for. One fund total U.S. equity exposure at zero cost. If someone forced me to pick a single fund for a brokerage account, this would be a strong candidate. What it's not an income fund. A 0.95% yield with 5% dividend growth is a respectable wealth-building fund, not a path to early dividend income. Fund 5, FITLX, Fidelity U.S. Sustainability Index Fund. What it tracks? Large U.S. companies that pass ESG, environmental, social, governance screens. Real numbers. Current dividend yield between 1.00 to 1.11%. Expense ratio, 0.11%. Not zero. This is important. Fund inception, May 2017. Long-term price appreciation, roughly in line with large-cap U.S. equity. What it's good for. If ESG screening matters to you personally, FITLX gives you that exposure at a low cost. What it's not is not a zero expense ratio fund. Anyone bundling it with FZROX, FNILX, or FZIPX and claiming the entire portfolio has zero or near zero expenses is misrepresenting FITLX's actual 0.11% cost. The blended portfolio reality, if you weight these 5 funds equally, realistic blended yield 1.01%. Realistic blended dividend growth 6 to 8% per year long term. Realistic price appreciation 10.1% annually. Average expense ratio 0.028%, thanks to the 3-0 cost funds balancing it out. These are honest numbers. Now let me show you what those honest numbers do over 30 years. Let me introduce someone whose story you've probably seen on YouTube before, Rachel. The version most YouTubers show you is Rachel ending up with $80,000 in annual dividends from $30 per month contributions. That's the fantasy version. Let me show you the honest version. Rachel's setup, age 32, starting investment $1,000, monthly contribution $30, $1 a day, strategy equal weight across 5 Fidelity funds. Dividend reinvestment? Yes, every dividend reinvested. Realistic assumptions. Blended yield 1.01%, annual price appreciation 9.5%, total return price plus dividends reinvested about 10.5%, dividend growth rate 7% annually. What actually happens over 30 years? Year 5, portfolio approximately $4,040, annual dividends approximately $41. Year 10, portfolio approximately $9,170, annual dividends approximately $93. Year 15, portfolio approximately $17,820, annual dividends approximately $180. Year 20, portfolio approximately $32,400, annual dividends approximately $327. Year 25, portfolio approximately $57,000, annual dividends approximately $576. Year 30, portfolio approximately $98,500, annual dividends approximately $995, about $83 per month. Total Rachel contributed across 30 years was $11,800. Total portfolio value at year 30, approximately $98,500. Annual total dividend income at year 30, approximately $995, about $83 per month. Now, let me be clear about what this is and isn't. Is this a failed outcome? Absolutely not. Rachel turned $11,800 in total contributions into roughly a $98,500 portfolio. That's more than an 8x multiple. Compound growth genuinely worked for her. Is it $5,000 a month in dividend income? No, it's $83 a month. That's the gap between what YouTube videos promise and what the math actually delivers. The story isn't that the strategy failed Rachel. The story is that the strategy was honest about what it could deliver: meaningful wealth, modest income, and a portfolio she didn't have to sell to live off of. Could Rachel reach $5,000 per month? Yes, but it requires different assumptions, and that's what I want to show you next. What it actually takes to reach $5,000 a month. Here's the honest answer to the question this video's title raises. To reach $5,000 per month in dividend income from a diversified Fidelity index fund portfolio at today's yields, you need approximately one of the following. Path A, the high capital path. Portfolio target, approximately $5 million at a 1.2% blended yield. Monthly contribution needed, over 30 years at 10% total return, approximately $2,500 per month. Realistic for high earners with significant savings capacity. Path B, the longer timeline path, 40 years instead of 30. Monthly contribution, $800 to $1,000 per month. Lets compounding do more of the work. Realistic for someone starting young, age 25 or younger. Path C, the yield shift path. Build wealth with low-yield index funds for the first 15 to 20 years. In your 50s and 60s, gradually shift toward higher-yield dividend ETFs, SCHD at about 3.3%, DGRO at about 2%, or even bond and income funds. Smaller portfolio can produce target income because of higher yield. Trade-off, less long-term growth, but earlier accessibility. Path D, the hybrid reality. Most realistic for normal earners, except that dividend-only income at $5K per month is hard. Combine index fund dividends plus Social Security plus small Roth withdrawals plus part-time income. $1,500 to $2,000 per month in pure dividend income is achievable. Combined with other sources, replicates the lifestyle benefit. I'm not telling you any of this to discourage you from dividend investing. I'm telling you because every honest financial framework starts with accurate inputs. Garbage in, garbage out, and YouTube Finance has been pumping garbage assumptions into the inputs for years. The 5-fund Fidelity portfolio is a perfectly good wealth-building strategy. It just isn't the 5K per month income machine you've been sold. Who actually benefits from the myth? Brief but important section. I don't think most YouTube finance creators are deliberately lying. I think a lot of them have built spreadsheets using assumptions they pulled from other YouTube videos, which pulled them from earlier YouTube videos, in a chain of unchecked numbers going back years. The 20% dividend growth rate didn't appear out of nowhere. It appeared because someone, at some point, looked at a short-term spike or a fund's recent good year and projected it forward as a sustainable rate. Once that number was in one popular video, it spread. But here's who genuinely benefits from these inflated projections. Brokerages. When you believe you'll have 5K per month in dividends with $30 contributions, you keep your money in the system longer. Course sellers. Passive income freedom courses charge $500 to $5,000 each. Realistic expectations don't sell courses. Affiliate channels. Many YouTube dividend channels are heavily monetized through brokerage referral links. Optimistic projections drive signups. I'm telling you this not to attack anyone specifically, but because you deserve to know who profits from the fantasy version of this strategy, so you can evaluate the math for yourself. Your honest framework. So what's the actual takeaway? If you're investing for long-term wealth building, the 5-fund Fidelity portfolio is genuinely solid. Low costs, broad diversification, real long-term growth. Don't let the inflated dividend projections discourage you from a fundamentally good wealth-building approach. If you're investing specifically for dividend income, be honest about timeline and capital. To reach meaningful dividend income, say $1,500 to $2,500 per month, most people need either 30+ years of consistent contributions, large monthly contributions in their 40s and 50s, or a strategic shift into higher yields funds later in their journey. Your action steps. 1. Open a Fidelity account if you don't already have one. Account opening is 10 to 15 minutes online. 2. Start with what you have, even $100 to begin. The funds discussed have no minimum investment. 3. Choose your blend. Equal weights across the 5 funds is fine to start. Adjust as your goals clarify. 4. Automate contributions. Monthly automatic investments are the single highest leverage habit in personal finance. 5. Reinvest dividends. Free option in Fidelity, critical for long-term compounding. 6. Set realistic expectations. Project 6 to 8% dividend growth, not 20%. Project 1% blended yields, not 2%. 7. Reassess every 5 years. Adjust contributions, fund mix, and goals as your life changes. 8. Don't compare yourself to fantasy YouTube projections. Compare yourself to where you were a year ago. The truth about dividend investing is that it works, just slower and more modestly than YouTube wants you to believe. Rachel ending up with around $98,500 and roughly $83 per month in dividends after 30 years of $30 per month contributions isn't a YouTube thumbnail, but it's real, achievable, and meaningful for someone who started with almost nothing. The most important investment skill isn't picking the right funds. It's calibrating your expectations to actual math so you stay in the game long enough for the math to work in your favor. If this video helped you cut through the noise, hit the like button. It helps this channel reach people who need honest numbers instead of inflated ones. Subscribe if you want more videos that prioritize math over marketing. And drop a comment below. Which dividend YouTube claim do you think gets repeated the most without ever being checked? I read every comment. See you in the next one.